Good morning, everybody. How are we doing? Hello, good morning. How are we all doing? Today is the last day of July, so I'm certain that by now at least we should be reflecting on how the past 1 month has been. What are some of the plans and goals that we have for August, the new month that will be on us in a couple of hours. So I'm excited to be here myself to once again exchange knowledge with each and every one of you here. I'm hoping that you're as excited as I am. So can I just get some feedback? How are we doing this morning? I know it's quite cold, but let me just get some feedback. How are we all doing? Hello guys, anybody here? How are we doing?
Good morning, doing fine. Thank you.
Okay. So be joined by Ronny, our guest for today, as he takes us through pitch practice. You see, when you might have the best idea, but if you do not know how to package it, to a greater extent, it might even lose its people might not get how relevant it is, because then you do not know how to package it very well. It will interest you to note that there are a number of pitches. There's what is known as the elevator pitch. Ordinarily, this is done in a minute or so, because assuming that you are to meet a business tycoon like say Aliko Dangote, the Nigerian billionaire, you are to meet him in an elevator, and he's going to you're at the first floor, he's going to the second floor, and if he were to ask you, so what do you do? And you know that you've only got less than a minute to pitch what it is that you do. So it's just important that startup founders, we acquaint ourselves to the process of how well to package our idea, what is relevant, what is not relevant, what's the most important information that I should focus on if I am going to pitch my idea in 3 minutes, in a minute, even 30 seconds. Because you see, we live in a busy world. We live in a really busy world where it's not easy to get someone to pay attention to what you're doing. It's not easy to get someone to commit their time to you when they could equally be doing other things. So if someone decides to give you a minute of their time and they tell you, hey, can you tell me what you do in a minute? What is it that you would say? Are you going to start saying, hi, so my name is James, and I come from this and this place, I stay with this and this, this is what I do, this is how we do it, and all those things. So it's just important that we acquaint ourselves with how to go about. Okay, so as we are waiting for our guests to make their way to the stage, in the next 8 minutes they'll be in. So can I get some feedback from people? How did you find last week's session and the assignment that was shared? How did you find it? Was it informative? What were some of the challenges that you faced? Can I get some feedback from people? How did we find last week's session? And any challenges that we faced? Was it too technical? Was it something that was easy to understand? Yeah. Somebody wants to talk? Please go ahead. Hello.
Good morning.
Can I get some feedback? Hi, Mathias.
Thanks for having us on the platform today.
Glad.
I just want to give like a brief my brief opinion on last week's session. I think it was informative, first of all, and secondly, it was a little bit easy for me to digest and assimilate because I've never undergone like finance and accounting, so it was just basically easy to assimilate and just analyze the data. And with practice, it's something that I can get better at. So yeah, I think the session was good. It was easily explained in my opinion.
Okay. What is your area of expertise, Mathias?
Experience?
Yeah. What's your what exactly do you deal in as a startup? You mentioned that you're not a finance and accounting expert. So what is it that you deal in?
Oh, currently working on an app. So
Okay.
it was it was something that helped me gain perspective, like in a way to know like what goes into actually making an app as far as the numbers are concerned.
All right. All right. Thanks for the feedback. I appreciate it.
All right. Anytime.
Anybody want to give us feedback? You could give us a feedback and proceed to just share with us what you're expecting with regards to today's session. What are you hoping Ronny would communicate with us? Anybody? I can see 16 other people here, so I do not get and I fail to understand why we should be silent. I know they say silence is a sign that you have understood. So certainly you have understood my question. So I need some feedback. How did you find that session, and what are we looking forward to?
Good morning.
Yeah. Hi, Chisanga.
Hi. So I'm looking forward to learning exactly what pitching is and see how I can apply that.
Beautiful. Have you ever done any pitching?
Sorry?
Have you ever pitched your business idea?
No. And I don't understand what pitching is. So I'm looking forward to learning what that is.
Oh, okay. So you do not understand what pitching is? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
No, I don't.
Okay. Great. So in a nutshell, pitching is basically just. Let me just mute you. Okay, yeah. So in a nutshell, pitching is basically just a way that you present your business idea to another person. And we're not going to limit this pitching to an investor. It's just anybody that's interested. You could be on a bus going for work, and maybe you find someone who looks like a potential client and you tell them, hi, I noticed that you're feeling cold and I'm in business, and what we do is we deliver coffee to offices. So it's basically just you trying to communicate your value proposition to another party. It could be a workmate, it could be your child, it could be an investor. Yeah, but in a normal, ordinarily pitching is done to potential investors, potential partners, potential collaborators, and to other stakeholders as well. Because when you're pitching to an investor, what you're trying to do basically is to share your value proposition with them so much such that they'll be able to understand what value you put out as a business, and if it is something that that if you is scalable, then certainly then they'll be able to invest. You'd equally decide to pitch to a potential partner. Hey, this is what we do, and this is how we do it, and we do what we do because of A, B, C, D. And if this individual feels, hey, I think this is something that sits well with me, it's something that could be profitable, it's in line and synchronizes with my values as well, then hey, I think I would be glad to partner with you. Why? Because you have communicated your value and they understand what value it is they would be able to get from it as well. Because at the end of the day, from any partnership, people would be looking for a mutual benefit. Shisanga, you benefit, I benefit as a business partner as well. Even if it were an NGO, but each party wants to benefit in one way or the other. Yeah, so basically that's it. So there are a number of pitches. I think those people that I'm certain there are some people here that have done some pitching, so that they will agree with me that there are quite a number. There is what most people use, which is a 3-minute pitching where you put in your solution, the problem that you're going to solve. The problem that you're trying to solve, your customer base, who are your competitors, and all those things. So I do not want to preempt what Ronny will be sharing with us. So he'll certainly be coming through in a minute from now. Ronny should be in. Let me just check with him.
Yeah, I'm here.
Hi, Ronny.
Hey, are you able to hear me?
Perfectly, I can get you very well.
Beautiful. So is it time for me to start?
Yes, sir. We can get started.
Amazing. Okay. Hello, everyone. Really nice to meet you all. Maybe I could share my video here for a minute so you're able to see me.
Yes.
Yes, perfect. So, hi everyone. My name is Ronny Ericksson, one of the co-founders and contributors at Ambitious Africa. Today here to have a small pitching workshop with you. So I'm going to shortly describe different ways of pitching, and then follow that with showing you how easily you can make amazing pitches using a solution called Chakopo. And then following that up and continuing on that note, I will also co-create with you one pitch deck just to showcase you how we could make a pitch deck really intriguing based on some subject that we then choose together. Now for some reason my name here is Venla, but let me quickly just change my name so you can get it here. So if you want to add me on LinkedIn or whatever, that's possible. So just send me a connection request and then we can continue the discussions on LinkedIn. And a big thank you also to this event for inviting me. It's an honor to be here. Also really nice to share a bit of the knowledge I have. But let me start by sharing my screen and then showing my presentation deck here. So I have a short a deck here that we will go through, and then I will start with my own introduction so you get to know me a bit better, and then we get going. So just 1 second and I start. Could you please give me the rights to share the screen? Whoever is the host here, Joseph, please.
Okay, just a minute.
Thank you so much. Good, but in the meanwhile, I could like do like a short introduction about myself. So for those who don't know me or haven't seen me before, as I said before, my name is Ronny Ericksson. My background is short, so I'm just like writing my master's thesis and going to graduate from Hanken School of Economics here in Helsinki, Finland. I've been studying entrepreneurship and management and being like a student entrepreneur during the last 3 years. So when I started at business school, I also started my first company called Catermate. It's a waitering personal renting company. So we give out waiters to different events. We have around 100 waiters now here in Helsinki and Turku area. So like the biggest cities here in Finland. We've been doing it now for a couple of years, and for nowadays I don't do that much like operational work, but I'm more like an advisor role. And then later on with my studies, I also started a couple other companies, one tech company, and then one company that is doing like branding and marketing and helping different companies to like scale within their visibility. Been also like doing some non-profit companies. So we've been doing like hackathons. We have this hackathon organization called What the Quack. Then together with Victor and Vincent, we are running 2 agriculture incubators in Rwanda. And also doing the Ambitious Africa network. So those who don't know Ambitious Africa, you can check it out. It's ambitious.africa, and Ambitious Africa is a network built between the Nordic and the African countries with the idea to like increase connectivity between young people from these 2 continents. And also help like different project, different entrepreneurs, different young people to get all the tools they need to actually make like their companies or whatever they are doing. So to get the help and support to take those to the next level. And in around about 3 months, Ambitious Africa has grown from nothing to around 100 volunteers, 6,500 registered members, 21 countries in Africa that we have started cooperation with, 4 countries in the Nordics, and then also we have like around 55,000 people that we have reached during this couple of months. So it has been a really like interesting journey to work through, and it's been really amazing to work with all our African peers. So I think like this cooperation that we already have is like really great, and it's been like super great to meet all like bright-minded and super driven people and see what all different things we're able to do together. I'm still not able to share the screen, Joseph.
Okay, just a minute.
Yeah,
Stephen is. He will do that for you.
Yes. So that was the short introduction about me. If someone has like any questions, just send me a message in the chat, and I can reply to those like during doing the presentation itself. Now I'm able to share the screen, so just give me 1 minute, and now we have this here, and I have my pitch. Oh wait, there. Good. Now, are you all able to see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Perfect. So let's start this workshop now. So I have around 50 minutes time here. We'll try to use it the best we can. So first I go through the speech deck, and then if you have any questions, just send them while presenting. And then Joseph, if there's like any question you think I should take like in the middle of the presentation, just say something. Otherwise, I will answer all the questions after this presentation. But without further ado, let's start. In today's session, yes, we will look through 4 main pitches or the 4 most common pitches that you often see, and which are really important to know for any startup in any stage. So the first pitch we're going to look at is the Twitter pitch. Then we will look at the elevator pitch, then the competition pitch, and then the investor pitch. And most of these pitches, you're probably already familiar with them. But like the main idea here is also like to remind you what these different pitches are, but also look a bit like how they could be done well and why we are doing them. And then also showing some good examples of some like big companies like Airbnb and WeWork, how they have done those. But now looking at these different pitches, if you go from like the Twitter pitch downwards, they like increase all in length. So the Twitter pitch starts from being like one sentence pitch. So how can you like describe your startup with one sentence? Then the elevator pitch is how can you explain your startup in 1 minute so that someone is like interested to hear more. Then the competition pitch is how can you like pitch your startup so that like the idea in the background is as viable as possible. And last, the investor pitch, how can you pitch your startup so that you can convince someone that they actually should like give you money or invest in you to make more money. So the Twitter pitch, for those who haven't heard it ever, the Twitter pitch is this like one line pitch. And a Twitter pitch is often like an easy way for anyone to understand in one sentence what your startup actually does. So a really good example here is like, for example, that you use something that everyone knows. You use like a word that everyone already knows. Or you use like some term that everyone knows. And for example, you could say that something is like the Uber of something. And why you would be using this example is that everyone knows like what it means when something is like a Uber of something. So if you think about how like the taxi systems have changed and what Uber did there, how Uber like changed the taxi system and how it became like the new standard of everything. So if you do kind of like the same thing to something, so you make like it into like an app where you can do it like as a service that whoever like a person can use. So it's like something as a service. So for example, taxis as a service is something that Uber became. So then if you say like, for example, that your startup is something as a service, you can say that it's the Uber of that. You could do the same thing by saying it's like the Airbnb of that, or like Airbnb meets Facebook. So if I would like exemplify this really easily, one of my friends here in Finland was starting a new company that was going to be like this kind of channel where you put videos about health and wellness to where people do like this kind of like master classes where they are describing like how like really like smart people within the health ecosystem are doing like this kind of master classes where they teach people how to live healthier and better lives. So then a really good example here is because if you look at like what they were building and what kind of platform that became into, you could have like called it's the Netflix of wellness. And then everyone easily in one sentence can understand that, okay, there is going to be something with health because there is wellness and it's like this kind of Netflix. So it's probably like this platform where you see these different videos, you see these different channels, and then you can actually like probably like watch those there. So that's like one really easy sentence, and that's what they called it to the investors, and the investors like understood immediately what it was about, and they got invested in like 2 months or something. So it was like a great short explanation, and that's what they still use when pitching. So it's a Netflix of wellness. You could also like use other more common examples. You don't have to like use another company. You could also use like what I've been hearing a lot is that people call something like, for example, the Ferrari of something. So if you think about that, you have different kind of phones, and then you have like some phone that only does the basics. It's not like beautiful in any way. It's not like special in any way. It could be like some super basic Nokia phone. Then you have like maybe a bit better like Android phone, and then you have like the super high level iPhone. Then you could maybe call like this iPhone for the Ferrari of the phones, because people then understand that it's kind of like the best possible phone in that like department that you can get. So the Twitter pitch is all about like convincing your audience about, or explaining to your audience what you are doing in one sentence so that they can easily relate and easily understand what you're doing. And often like this one sentence pitch is the one that like wakes up everyone's like interest if they want to hear more or not. So it's really important to create like this kind of like super convincing one-liner, so that if someone asks what you're doing, you explain it and they don't understand, and then you can easily say like it's the Uber of something. And that way they like it sticks to their mind. They can always remember that, because the easiest like way to remember something is when it's short but it's punchy and you can relate to it. So that's like kind of the basics of Twitter pitch, and also like how I would do it. And what I like recommend for you all is that you now take a bit time after this session, you sit down and you give actually do a couple different versions, and then if you want you can like just send them to me, and I can also check them through and give you some feedback what I think and how we can actually see if this Twitter pitch is good or not. Then moving onward to the elevator pitch. So the elevator pitch is called an elevator pitch for a easy reason. So thinking about going with elevators go up and down. You press on the button, you get in, the doors close, and the elevator starts going. And normally an elevator takes around 60 seconds to go from the place you start to the place you go. And the elevator pitch's idea is to to create a pitch that you can pitch during the time that it takes for the elevator to go from one floor to another. So if you think about it, many people are working in these big business buildings. And then if you meet, like, for example, an investor in that elevator in that building, you should be able to tell that investor what you're doing before you arrive, so that the investor might get interested about your thing, and then you might like be able to continue the discussions. So the elevator pitch should be around 1 minute long, like fast enough that you can quickly run it through it in a conversation wherever you are. The elevator pitch is also super important because it's something that you have to know by heart. So you really have to know your own elevator pitch. You have to perfect it. And it's also important to pitch it again and again and again and again to get like as much feedback and to make it as perfect as possible. And to explain you like the elevator pitch and what makes like a good elevator pitch, I have now chosen 2 different examples here. So first I have like an Airbnb elevator pitch and how it could be done. And then next I have a WeWork elevator pitch and how that was done. And for those who don't know Airbnb or WeWork, so a quick like introduction about the companies. So Airbnb, if we start with this elevator pitch, you probably like already like understand what Airbnb is after that. If not, we have like to make the elevator pitch better. But Airbnb would be explained in 1 minute in around this way. So most tourists booking online care about price and hotels are one of the highest costs for when traveling. On the other hand, platforms like Couchsurfing have proven that over 500,000 people are willing to lend their couches or spare bedrooms. We have created a platform that connects travelers with locals, letting them rent our rooms or even entire places. Travelers save money and locals can monetize their empty rooms. We just take a 10% commission. How does that sound? So it's a super extremely clear message that we're saying. So as you can see here, moving in the deck, we start with something. So in this case, we are starting with like why and the kind of like what are the customers doing. So because the main idea of startup is always to make money. Because when you're pitching something, especially when you're pitching to an investor or someone who could like help your company grow or could like put some money into it, it's really important to tell how can you make money. And the only way to make money is to understand your customers. So the first thing is here to state what are the customers doing, how are they behaving. Then after that, we continue with like a problem or what makes like Airbnb different. And here we bring like looking at like, for example, Couchsurfing and seeing like the validation, what people actually are doing right now and why Airbnb would be relevant. Then you continue shortly with what is Airbnb. So it's a platform and what does it do? It connects travelers with locals, letting them rent room, letting them rent places. And then lastly, what like do the customer get out of that? And what is the cost for the traveler? And then a call to action, how does that sound? So a super easy way of doing it. So always looking at the customer, always focusing on the customer. The most important thing is to understand, what does my solution do for the customer? How does my solution help the customer? And how do we make money from the customer by using this solution? And this way we get like this super clear 1 minute pitch that's probably like wakes people's interest, because there is like really good information why this is relevant. Then there is also really good information about what have you done, and then lastly, how do you make money? So 3 key elements here in the Airbnb pitch, making it like into a really conveying pitch, really interesting pitch, and something that is like super straightforward. Moving onward to the WeWork pitch. Excuse me for just like 10 seconds, I take a glass of water. Okay, good. So next we look at the WeWork pitch. So for those who don't know WeWork, I could just short like pitch or tell about WeWork, because before we look at this pitch, to do this like a bit differently. So WeWork is this kind of company that utilizes empty spaces and turns those into co-working office spaces. They were growing super fast here during the last years, scaling like quickly to billions of dollars of revenue. And WeWork, like they had a lot of problems also on the road, so they were doing like this kind of thing where they create like a space, like you have probably like these kind of hubs and incubators, co-working spaces where you have all probably been. So they created like a lot of those, focusing mainly on like also big corporations, allowing the big corporations to have like offices in all different locations worldwide. And WeWork had like a super fast rise, but also a really like hurtful fall. And their CEO like had a real like, it was really windy times when he was doing different things, and it was really interesting journey to follow. But they also did like many great things, and you can almost find a WeWork in every country in the world, which is like, it's kind of cool. But the WeWork elevator pitch here would be something like this. So there are 40 million independent workers in the US, consultants, freelancers, and small business owners. Solving office space is tough and expensive, especially in cities like New York. We created the concept of space as a service. We have 20 locations in the city where people can rent a desk or an office without any of the complications of a traditional lease, effectively saving at least 25% of the cost. They get access to a shared front desk, mailroom, and a community of like-minded people. So as you can already see, this elevator pitch is a bit different. It is structured a bit in a different way, but it's also in its own way a bit better. It's more like convening than the Airbnb pitch deck was, and it has smaller like details and numbers. So now looking again at the structure of this elevator pitch, it's super like short to say, it's super like straightforward to say, and it starts with like stating again like how much customers can we find and who are the customers. So again, like as you can see, like something that is reoccurring here is that it's always focusing on the customer. And the first thing is there is 40 million customers, and they are consultants, freelancers, and small business owners. And their problem is within office space. So solving office space is tough and expensive, especially in cities like New York. So where would they operate? And also, what is the problem that WeWork aims to solve? What has WeWork done? We created the concept of a space as a service. And now this could be also like, we created the Airbnb of offices. Could be like kind of the same thing. Now I'm looking also like taking back a bit to that Twitter pitch I was talking about. So because this is something as a service, so we can always look at like these as a service companies and use them as examples. And also continuing from that, we have 20 locations in the city where people can rent a desk or an office without any complications of traditional lease. So their solution is like put all around the city to make it as easy as possible for all the different renters. it doesn't have the problems that normal leasing. It's cheaper, and what do they like? What do the customer get when taking a WeWork office? So the only thing that is missing from here that we had in the last pitch was the call to action. And the call to action would be really important also to have here. Now this is only a statement, but the only thing I would add here is like a call to action. So for example, are you ready to move into the easiest office of your life? Or are you ready to save some costs while being around super interesting people? But this is an example. These two like elevator pitches are really good examples. I think like they have been able to, if you think about like how big of a company Airbnb on how like complicated things they do, I think like and same with WeWork, I think like these are really good examples how you have been able to take it to a couple sentences, make it short, make it appealing, but make it also super clear and customer focused. So that's the idea with the elevator pitch, and this is something that I think that every one of you like need to start working on as soon as possible. So elevator pitches, you're never going to finalize your elevator pitch. Is something you need to work on again and again and again, depending on like what things you learn about your startup and what kind of feedback do you get. So this is also what I recommend is write 1 or 2 different versions and start pitching that to people as soon as possible. That's also a really good idea with the elevator pitch is that, for example, every time you go to the elevator and you are there with people, you can do the pitch, and that way you see what people think. And something, it's like a big like problem also in the Nordics for the moment is that people are super afraid that someone will steal your idea if you tell what you're doing. And this is something that I personally find to not be true. I think like the best startups are those startups that people talk about. And the best startups are those, let me see, something wasn't here, just, yes. So the best startups are those startups that actually like talk about what they're doing. They are accountable to people, but they also get the feedback from people. Because if you tell, for example, someone that you're doing the Netflix of well-being, and you keep on telling that, you keep on pitching your story, you do it again and again and again, this pitch gets better, the elevator pitch gets better, but also people get to know what you're doing, and they can help you. Because it might be that the one people in the elevator that you pitch to, he knows like all the people who built Netflix, and he can maybe introduce you to someone to Netflix, and then Netflix might get super psyched about it, and then like everything goes super fast from there when you start like to meet the right people and get the right kind of help. So never like be afraid of doing your elevator pitch. If you're not confident with your elevator pitch is not good. So keep on doing it again and again, and keep on pitching it, and keep on focusing on that it goes, the customer is in the focus. How do we create value for the customer? Who is the customer, and what does the customer get out of it? So really simple, but something that needs to be done again and again and again and again. Good. Now we're getting to the last part of this presentation, not the shortest part, but the last part. And here we are going now to look at like the pitch decks themselves. So we have now looked how you can pitch your company in 1 sentence with the Twitter pitch. We have looked how can you pitch your company in 1 minute with the elevator pitch. And now we're moving on to look how do you actually pitch your startup in a competition. Or how do you pitch your startup to an investor when you're looking for money? And these pitches are now like going in time from 1 minute. We're talking about maybe 5 minutes. We can be talking about 10 minutes. We can be talking about 15 minutes if there is like some Q&A parts also part of that. So these competition and investor pitches can be all types of lengths. Sometimes they're 3 minutes, sometimes 5, sometimes 7. So you have to actually build that regarding like whatever like company, whatever competition you are pitching to, or what kind of investor you're pitching to. And how we're going to do this now today is that I will show you a bit way around Canva. Canva is a free tool that you can create different types of presentations to. You can for free create an account there, and then you can like start working, and you get like really amazing presentations super easily out of that software. I will like go through a couple like of pitch deck templates on Canva, and also like showcasing you like how we could do like a pitch deck for some example startup. So now to make this session a bit like more interactive and give you an opportunity to also say something, if there is someone who has like an idea of some kind of startup that you would like me to create a pitch deck about, or you have like your own startup or maybe some kind of short pitch about it, you can send it in the chat, and then I can like pick that one and make like some kind of pitch deck to that and show you a bit like how Canva is working and some kind of magic. So does anyone have like some startup idea or some startup pitch deck you would like me to create so that I can show you a bit? So you can just send me here in the chat, and I'll see from here if you have any ideas. Some solution or some problem or something that we would like to create some kind of startup about. Is there anyone with any like ideas, something you would like me to do?
So let's quickly get someone to share their business idea or the solution to a problem or challenge that you're facing. So at least you'd be privileged to have an expert like Ronny prepare a pitch deck for you. So even better for you. So just quickly share your idea, and then Ronny will help us come up with a template using your idea. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Quickly, guys, quickly. All right, so the first one there is, okay, I think I'll give it up to Ronny. Ronny, you could pick one. I have seen one from Chisanga, which is to provide daycare services. Then there is one from Gordon, which is a beekeeping company.
Yeah, let's take the daycare center as they were first. So I think that's the easiest one. So let's create a pitch deck for a daycare center. So now, like starting from here, I will show you a bit like a way around Canva, but this is Canva. Canva is an online tool that you can use to create different kind of pitch decks. And what we're going to do now today is we're going to create like a pitch deck from start to the end using a Canva template, showing you like how you can make it beautiful, but also like how you can easily get all the most important parts done there. So if you want to use Canva or make a profile here, you can go to canva.com. It's www.canva.com, and you will find the web page. Then you can create a free account, and then you can start designing here. But now looking at like how Canva works, like just in short, you have like different things here. So we have like all your own designs, or recent designs, your brand kit for your company, stuff like that. Then you have like a list of different kind of templates. So you find like templates for almost everything here: social media, personal business, marketing, education, and so on. My computer is unfortunately a bit slow since I broke my own computer. I had to take my old computer to using today, but it doesn't matter that much. But if I just quickly show you here, so you have different kind of presentations. So now looking at like all these presentation templates, what you actually get here is a like large list of different templates you can use for whatever like you're doing or whatever you want to pitch. Some of these are pitch decks, some are like just like overall informative like presentations. But now we wanted to do a pitch deck regarding like a startup pitch, and then it's the easiest to choose like from here, like just like a pitch deck presentation, which now takes me to like the editor of Canva itself, and gives me like different options of pitch decks that I can then use to create like the presentation. If sometimes like we're super lucky and we can find like presentation that it already built for like something that or the solution that we're going to do. But now just to make it easy, I will just like pick from here some template that looks kind of good, and then we can like start working on it. We want to do like a daycare, so what looks like a bit like daycare here. Let's see. Yeah, let's go with this one. Good. So now I have like brought here everything you need for like a pitch deck. So it took this long to actually get like all the material you need with all like the ready like templates where you can just fill out all the most important parts. And the pitch deck is always built in the same way, so you always have like the problem, the solution. So, okay, perfect. Was there a question, Andy, or did you just like put your mic on? Okay.
No, I think it was the question.
Yeah. Okay. If there is like some questions, just send in that chat so I can check them from there. But good. So the pitch decks are always like the investor and the competition pitch deck is always built in the kind of same way. And the main idea here is to convey your whoever is watching that your solution is good, with you talking and then supported by slides. The important thing in pitches are that you don't have that much text, but you have nice pictures, you have nice like ideas. And now, for example, like if we start to build like a pitch deck for a daycare center, the first thing is that we need to have a name for the daycare center, and that's like often with how your pitch deck always starts is with the name. So now it could be like, for example, the daycare center could be like fun daycare, for example, could be the name of the daycare center. And now we have the name, and then often here we put like the Twitter pitch that I was talking about before. So we can have like this one sentence explaining what our daycare center does. And this could, for example, be quickly thinking, but it could, for example, it could be like the Airbnb of daycare. And what like the idea with this daycare center would be like that it's simply like is this kind of solution that you cannot go online. You can look at different people who are staying home and they're running daycares in their own homes. And then you can just like find their perfect person that you would like to you would like to take care of your child. And then you could give like ratings to these people about like how they're caring for your child. So really like a simple and interesting idea about like doing a daycare into a service so that anyone could be able to do daycare. And then of course, like you want to match that with some kind of pictures, maybe some kind of picture that has something to do with daycare, just to make it like appealing for anyone who is watching. So that's also a good part here in Canva, that you have like unlimited photos that are free to use. So then you can like start using those for your presentations to actually make like them super appealing and make them look good. So here, for example, we could just like pick this picture here, or maybe like that picture instead. Now we have like already a like pretty fun picture that we can start like playing with. Good. And then why would we be doing this? Now, like always starting a pitch deck is always starting with the problem. And as you can see here, like list 3 to 5 problems your company observes and wants to solve. And again, like adding those pictures here to make it look like a daycare presentation, and then like starting to look at the problem. And now the 3 main problems could be like, for example, here that governmental daycare is expensive. For example, there is not enough workers in daycare centers, and the daycare is very far away. So these could be like the super basic 3 problems why we're actually doing this. Why are we creating this kind of daycare solution? And now we understand the problem. So it's really expensive to take your children to daycare. There is not enough workers in the daycare center, so you can trust that your child is taken well care of. And the daycare is very far away, so the closest daycare center might be like 1 hour or 2 hours away from the home. And this is like causing really, really big problems. And these are the 3 problems that our solution, the Fun Daycare, is trying to solve. And now to continue on the pitch deck and how we make like the appealing, why like would someone be interested in what we're doing? The next thing you can move to then is like the utopia, or as it's more commonly called, the solution. So what is Fun Daycare doing to solve this kind of problem? How can we solve that problem? And now the first solution could be that fun day care allows anyone to do a daycare. So anyone can anyone can start running a daycare. Anyone can stay at home and start taking care of more like people's children. The other solution could be is like we validate that the people taking care of your child are legit. So we could have some kind of process where we, like our solution, Fun Daycare could have a process where we see that those people who are taking care of the children in their homes, they actually know what they're doing, and you can trust your children with them. And then maybe the last solution here could be that, for example, we are 75% cheaper than normal daycare, which makes like the solution, this solution available for everyone, which is like different. Everyone can do a daycare, but everyone can also benefit now from a daycare. This could be one of our solutions. Could also be that we, for example, we train the people to be able to do daycare at their homes, which then solves the problem that there are not enough like daycare people. So now, like looking at the pitch deck, what we have been able to create this for, we have been able to create a problem. Then I've been able to create a solution how we fight that problem. And now we need to look more about like what is the product or service that we offer, how does it work, how does it look. And now, for example, like the idea here could be like that we have a daycare center or daycare like school, or we have like this different this daycare platform. So maybe like this one that's where we're looking on the phone here could be like a platform of some kind, the platform where you can like then book all these different, let's see, where you could meet all these different like daycare people who are taking care of the children, for example. So I don't think I can find any platform picture here, unfortunately, right now, but maybe like this. Yeah, good. I think that will work perfectly. So let's just put this one here. So this could, for example, be like a picture of the platform like this. Good. So then you would have like the platform on your phone where you go in, and in the platform, then you can like book these different daycare people in the same way we would book an apartment on Airbnb. So then, for example, here you could have like shortly that we have an online platform where you can meet, book, and pay for daycare as a service. So now you have like a clear statement, what is your product and service, and then when like we get onward with that, it's really interesting always to know like how did the solution itself come to life, and how for how long have you been developing it, and do you already have any customers. So now we could, for example, say here that we have like step one, for example, this could be like, for example, idea. Then this could be like platform version 1 maybe got ready in 2018, and in 2019 maybe first customer. So this is like the things that investors and competition people actually want to know. So they want to know like how has your idea developed and what has happened during that time. And this slide would be more about talking, but telling the timeline that, for example, in 2017, we were working I was working at a daycare center. It was really fun, but there was many problems because we didn't have enough personnel, and it was pretty expensive. So many children were left outside of that. So together with my friend, we got the idea to start this daycare center. And when starting the daycare center, we started to develop an online platform like Airbnb to make it happen. And actually the platform one or first version of the platform was ready in 2018. And when the platform was ready, we kept on like developing it, and the platform got ready in the end of 2018. But in the beginning of 2019, we actually were able to get our first customer after bringing around 50 daycare persons into the platform. And now going onward from this moment, we're focusing a lot on creating the training program for all the daycare personnel to take the daycare at homes to the next level. Then after that, you have like explained how you have done it and how the birth has been and how the like idea has come to life. You're going to continuing with timing, and what timing means in this. Let's just change picture again. What timing means in these kind of situations is that timing is like, why are you doing it now? Why is the timing relevant right now? Why didn't you do it 1 year ago, or why didn't you do it like 2 years ago? Why is it like, why did you choose this moment to start everything? And now you want to have like some reasons for timing or why now. I like to call like timing always for why now, since it's like more clear message. So why are you doing it right now? And here the reasons could be, for example, that we say that, for example, Africa has come to the level of digital development that we're able to start the platform economy. And the platform economy means that you're able to use, for example, your mobile phones to run different services. And then the other reason would be that there is an increasing amount of young or children in the need of daycare, but there is not enough daycare personnel to take care of those children. So those are like two really relevant reasons why it's really important to do it now, right now. So reason one could be, as stated, there is an increasing demand of daycares, and Africa, for example, or whatever country is ready for the platform economy. So those are two super relevant reasons why now. And now if we look quick, go through the pitch deck. So we have like now been able to state the problem, the solution, the service, the birth of the solution, why now, and still continue with a couple pages, and then we already start to have like a really good pitch deck, and then I will show you some like quick magic here after that. So traction is like, I don't put anything on the slide, but quickly explain it to you. But traction is like, how many customers have you been able to get? How much have you been able to do? This is like the kind of thing that tells them people that is your solution actually gaining any like users, and how can we accept your like solution to grow? So for example, this could be like year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, and it just could be like 10 customers year 1, 20 customers year 2, 30 customers year 3, and 40 customers year 4. So super simple. And this like shows that we have been growing by 10 customers every year. This is the one like for investors that is super interesting, because this tells you, or tells them how much money can they make in 10 years if they invest money in you. Then we want to look at the target market. What target market are you focusing on, and what customers are you focusing on? So this is the exactly thing that I've been talking about all the time. It's customers, always focusing on the customers, understand who your customers are, who is going to pay, and how can you build your solution to match like that. So now again, I added a bit like the correct features here. Yeah, good. For example, for this daycare solution, we have to understand two main things with the target market. We have to understand what is the market that we're focusing on. Is it like a rural city, or is it like a big city, or is it like a metropolitan area, or is it like some village? That's like the first thing. And then we have to understand who is paying for that. And if you think about it, it's always like in these kind of solutions, the payer will be the one putting their child to daycare. So the target market could be, for example, it could be a city in Zambia, or it could be like we can choose, like, for example, the capital of Zambia or Zimbabwe. And in this capital city, we want to focus on those people who are maybe the average age of a mother and father in Zimbabwe or Zambia. I'm not sure about that, but like it could be, for example, 30 or 25 or 20. So like that's just something that we have to find out. So target market could be, like, for example, the capital city or some bit rural areas, and then who the customer is, and that would be the mother or the father of the child, who is then able to pay for someone else to take care of the child, instead of paying like the government, they go for the government to do that. And then, so just to put here, like, for example, capital city of Zimbabwe, for example, or capital, let's go with like large cities in Zimbabwe, for example, and then mothers and fathers. And then again, like looking at the investors and how we can actually make money, this is a really like simple way of looking at the size of your market. So you use like this TAM, SUM, and SOM, and these are like total addressable market. I must say that I don't even remember myself. Let Google so that I say it correctly to you. Because I'm just 1 second, so I don't say them wrong. Yep. Okay. So this TAM is total available market. The SUM is serviceable available market, and SOM is serviceable obtainable market. And what these different things means is that you pick down, now that you have the target market here, so you know all the large cities in Zimbabwe, you know mothers and fathers, that creates like the total available market. So if you take all the mothers and fathers and all the large cities in Zimbabwe, then you get this one. Then you have to look from there, who of them would actually be paying for this? Then you get this one. And then how many of them can you expect to actually take your solution? So if you think like that, we say that there is, for example, 1 million mothers, then there would be like 1 million like people in the cities of Zimbabwe who are mothers and fathers, and then maybe 500,000 of those would be needing a solution like this. And then we can expect that about 20% of them would be them who would first start using this solution. So then 20% of that would be 100,000. So then the sum is like the 100,000 is the amount of people that you can accept to reach with this kind of solution. Then after this one, now that you understand how much people you can reach, this is also like telling how much money you can make if everything goes right. You want to understand your competition a bit better. So what you're doing here is that you looked at who are your direct competitors. Is there anyone else doing like daycare as a service, this kind of daycare solutions? Or is there someone who is not a direct competitor, but is also doing something with daycare, for example, like the governmental daycare centers? And when you understand who your competitors are and who are working in the same field as you are, and you're able to tell it out, you tell more about competitive advantages. So you want to tell why is your solution better than the others. So then it could be like, for example, like the first mover. So you were the first to the market. Maybe 100 customers could be one thing. So you have already validated it. Then something else that makes you more competitive. You have the leading platform, for example. And then, for example, you could have like cooperation with the government. So this is what makes you better compared to everyone else. This is like what makes you the one that they should invest in and not the other company. This slide is not important. And then the last thing, like what we want to look at, the two last things is the business model. This one like requires an own session, so I won't look at it more in detail, but kind of like the main things in the business model, the most important parts is like, how do you make money? So then you could have like the 3 different models of the daycare center, how you make money. So one could be, for example, subscription. So people pay a monthly fee and they get to use the daycare services for 10 days a month. Then you could have like one-time fee where you pay like a higher fee and you can use the daycare whenever you pay. And then you could have like one last model that could be, for example, 1 year, like you buy daycare for every day for 1 year. So this could be like the different ways you make money and how that money like comes to you. So it's important to tell, especially for the investors, how do you make money? How does your platform bring money? Then pitching your team shortly. Who are the team members? What do they do? What is the roadmap? Where do you want to go? And your contact information. That is like all the relevant slides with all like the specific that you can even think about having in a pitch deck. Then when like having different pitches, you might have like to pick something out from here or add something new here. But like mainly, this is like how the pitch deck should be. This is like many slides, so you can always like take away those slides that you don't think like are suitable, or then also like edit the slides a bit if you think like that something needs to be different when pitching to different people. So it's also like really important to understand who you are pitching to. You need to like understand and know the one you're pitching to, because then you have to like change these slides according to who you're pitching to. But now like looking quickly through this, if I would now like be presenting this presentation to you, the last thing I will do is that I do a short pitch about this daycare center, and you kind of like get to see what we were able to do here and how like this kind of pitch deck was done. So now we used like maybe 20 minutes to build this pitch deck together, and I think it like looks kind of good and probably like is pretty good. And now if we would do like the pitching of this one before I let you ask some questions, and then we need to round out this. I'm now going to pitch you Fun Daycare, the Airbnb of daycare, so a platform for daycare where we want to allow all the people to do allow daycare in their own homes. So the problem, I'm going to start by listing a couple different problems why we're doing the daycare thing. So for the moment, governmental daycare is expensive. This means that it's not available for everyone. It causes a lot of problems and a lot of friction since people are not able to like get their children to daycare and go to work normally. There is not enough workers in daycare centers, which makes it not that safe for all the daycare workers to or the people to put their children there, because they can trust that their children are taken care of in the right way. And last, the daycare is very far away, so it takes many hours to get to the daycare centers since they are not centralized in the cities. And this has caused like big problems to the economy, since people have to spend a lot of time taking their children to daycare and missing a lot of like time they could be doing work or taking care of themselves. And the solution, how is the Fun Daycare going to solve this? So the Fun Daycare has 3 main solutions. So the Fun Daycare allows anyone to do a daycare. So anyone can become a daycare entrepreneur. Anyone can host their own daycare from their home. We validate that the people taking care of your child are legit. So we have a validation process where we see that you can trust the people working at our platform, and we do a great work of training these people. We are also 75% cheaper than a normal daycare, so you actually save a lot of money when using us, and you support local entrepreneurs and people getting new jobs. Shortly looking at the story of the new daycare. So we started in 2007 with an idea. 2018 we had our first version of our platform ready, and 2019 we got our first customer. And now 2020 we're actually scaling, so we're probably going to have around 100 to 200 customers. And also through that we are now seeking funding so that we can build the platform even better to match all the needs. Why now? Why are we doing the daycare center today? So we're doing the daycare center now because there is an increasing demand for daycares, and that has been proven both by some articles written by the government. And now we want to support this growth with a solution that doesn't require as much as governmental daycares does. And also like Africa or Zimbabwe is ready for the platform economy. So there has been a lot of like changes because of COVID-19 that have evolved the digital economy. And this allows us now to do platform like solutions even for daycare. What has happened during the last year? So the first year we had 10 pilot customers. The next year we actually got 20 customers, and we've been growing like with 200% growth. And since that, we've been in a steady growth phase all the time, growing, doubling our revenue every year. And we expect to keep the same growth, or with a little bit more investment, we're probably able to increase the amount by 3 or 4 times. The target market. So who are our customers and how do we focus on them? So a target market is all the large cities in Zimbabwe, and we target mothers and fathers who are working.
Hi, Ronny. It is Zimbabwe, it's Zambia and Zimbabwe, but mostly attendees are from Zambia. But
okay,
Zimbabwe,
okay, Zambia
is fine.
Okay, okay.
Yes.
It's like, okay. That doesn't matter. It can be whatever country. It could be Finland too. So, but perfect. And then the size of the market. So we have looked at the market, and in Zambia there is around 1 million like parents living in the cities. About 500 of these, or 500,000 of these, would be needing daycare solutions, and around 100 of them would be willing or able to pay for this kind of solution. So we can expect that we have around 100,000 customers that we can target in the beginning of our journey. Looking at competitors, we have a couple of competitors in Africa, but not in Zambia. So these are not like direct competitors if they don't expand to Zambia. Then indirect competitors, we are, for example, we have the governmental daycare, and that's like the biggest competition we have. Then competitive advantage says we were the first to the market. We have already 100 paying customers, so we can evolve the platform all the time. That's why we are the leading platform. And then also we have like already started some cooperation with the government. So the government is helping us making this as efficient as possible. Then the business model, not looking at that today. Then the team, we're a team of three different people with different backgrounds. Here it's really important to tell like why you're relevant to the idea. So for example, I could have been an entrepreneur in the daycare industry for a long time. Then we might have like someone who was a daycare specialist, and then maybe someone who has been studying early childhood education. And this is like our team composition that supports like the thing that we're doing the best. Future roadmap during this year, after doing the first funding round, we will use the money to scale the platform first to Zambia, next year to Zimbabwe, and then probably like rolling it out to whole Africa, maybe in the end of 2021. Last but not least, here's the contact information. Please send me a message if you have any questions, or check more information from our webpage. So that's like how you create like this competitive competition pitch or investor pitch, and a really like easy software you can do that with. How you get like really good looking amazing pitches. And it was also like an example now of creating like this kind of pitch deck for a daycare center, and how what things I would be looking at when doing that. And then like the pitch I did here, it was not good. So that's something you have to pitch it again and again. So now I did it 2 times during this session, and it got already better, but it's not perfect. Now I think I'm running out of time. So that's like what I have cooked for you. Hopefully like that was helpful and you learned something new. This was like the main things. So we looked at 4 different pitches. We had the Twitter pitch, the elevator pitch, and then 2 different kinds of investor pitches. So how we did together now a pitch deck, and then we looked through like how like that pitch deck was built, what different components it had, and how we could like use those different components to like make an appealing pitch in the end. Now might be some questions. Let me see, there's a bit of pitch questions coming here. So
yes, there was a question from Gordon, which was he was trying to find out, how do you pitch a business which has more than one revenue stream?
Yeah, if you have a business that has more than one revenue stream, it's just like important to align. You can, for example, we had this slide here. So let me see. just quick. Yeah, so when you have the business model here, the business model is all about like pitching those revenue streams. You can just like have like, for example, here, revenue stream 1, revenue stream 2, and revenue stream 3. Most of businesses that you find have multiple revenue streams, so it's pretty normal to be pitching multiple revenue streams. But it's then also important to tell like what those different revenue streams are, and also have an argument why there are like different revenue streams. So for example, if I would be for this daycare, it's really important to tell like that there is a subscription model, but there is also like this one-time model. And those could be like the two different revenue streams. So you would just be writing here like solution revenue stream 1 would be subscription, you pay every month. And then solution 2 would be that you pay like every time you use it, so one-time payments. Hopefully that answered your question. Okay, what is the importance of pitching a business? Like the importance of pitching a business is because you want to businesses need to do one thing. It's like if you want to have a business, you have to make money. So the importance of pitching a business is like in simplicity to get your solution out and get your solution sold, so that you can like get it out to people, because every solution you create, you kind of create like solutions to give something to people that they want or help them in some way. So the importance of pitching is like how can you get that as efficiently as possible out to people, and how can you get people to enjoy the amazing things that you have been able to create as entrepreneurs. I think those were all the questions. Thank you. Thank you so much for like the nice comments. It's really nice to see that I was able to bring you some value. I think I'm running out of time now. So do you have like Joseph, someone else coming here after me? Or if there is still any questions and I still have time.
Necessarily. So Tim, do we have any further questions, comments, or anything that you'd like Ronny to clarify on before we let him go?
How best do you address the part for traction for a business not yet on the market? That's a really good question. That's like actually it's a really good question, because it's often like hard to explain to someone like how you're growing or how you're supposed to grow if there is no like data, there is no like information about it in the background. But I would do, you need to guess, you need to study a bit, like is there like some competitors who are doing the same thing? Are there someone who has done something similar? For example, if you're doing this kind of like Airbnb for something or Uber for something, it's pretty easy to look like how did Uber make money? How do they make money in a year? How much customers do they need to make this one money? And then you like just guess and do like some kind of predictions that if different scenarios. So you could make like two scenarios, for example. So you could make like one that would be that if we get 100 customers and they pay this much, our like traction will increase like this. And then scenario 2, if we get only 2 customers but they pay this much, how does the traction look if it's keep growing in that way? So you do like kind of different scenario analysis. So you try to understand that what different types could happen and what might happen. Because startups and entrepreneurship, it's also like uncertain. You never know. There is never like that it will be 100 customers next year. You can't know that. Something might happen and you might get 0. Right, Corona, for example, or COVID-19, it happened and everyone lost their so all the tractions and all the plans they made, they never like got out there in the right way. So I guess like that's the most important part, is that you really like have to predict and you have to understand what you're doing and if there is someone else doing it in the similar way, and then building that traction from there. Good. Hey, this was really awesome. Thank you so much for having me. I'm also going to be at the hackathon, so if anyone wants to like have a one-on-one meeting with me or needs like some mentoring to ideas or whatever, I will also be at the hackathon. So we'll be there helping. And then there's one last question from Andy. So should a pitch deck be as detailed as possible or brief and to the point? I would do it so that like this pitch deck has already a lot of text. So I wouldn't put any more text than this one has. But in the end, like it's not about how much information or how detailed the information is. That's not what matters. It's more about like, can someone who has never seen your idea understand your idea based on the slides? If your idea is like doing an art gallery, the only thing you need to put out is like the pictures of the art, and people understand that you will have an art gallery that has this kind of art. So you don't need words. But then you have something that needs a lot of explanation. You have to probably do like super detailed slides explaining what you're doing. But think about like who will receive the pitch deck, and will it be you pitching it or will you just be sending it? So if you send me a pitch deck, I wish that there is a bit more information so that I can understand what you're doing. But if you're telling me the story, please use as little text as possible and try to explain everything with your words and your hands. And with like, for example, if I'm pitching a phone, I could show the phone and like tell that this is a phone and it has a camera, and maybe even show how the camera works. So that's like the important part, is to make the pitch deck interesting, not too much that people like get bored about reading, but like it's like convealing, and then if you get to talk, less text. If you don't get to talk, more text. So that's like how I would like divide it. Do you do it like detail or not? Good. Hey, I wish you all like I hope to see you all at the hackathon. If you're going all to be hackers, I wish you all the best and all the luck. Hackathons are super fun, and I've been doing them a lot, and come up with like super fun ideas also there. And you can also, if you want, actually, we organized this hackathon like maybe six months ago. Wait, I can just send you like the link here in the chat, so you can go check it out. There might be like some interesting solution or some toolboxes or something that you might find relevant that we built and used. So it's all like free for you to use. So go and check it out from the link. And if there is something you might be like benefit from for the hackathon, this one, so like take and use it.
Nice.
And yeah, Dylan, like maybe lastly answer Dylan here. So yes, always remember to do an introduction about yourself. So before you start the presentation, every time ask, for example, I will tell, for example, that, hey everyone, my name is Ronny, the co-founder of Fun Daycare, doing the pitch now. That's enough. And then you can look at the team like more in the end. But always remember to tell who you are so that people know who you are and where you come from. Nice. And if you want to reach me anywhere, you can find me on LinkedIn with Ronny Ericksson. Typing Ronny Ericksson, you'll just find me, or then at all social medias, my name is Ronny Mathias with 2 T's. So just like check me out. Perfect. Thank you so much, Joseph. Thank you everyone for listening. Hopefully I brought you some value. Hope that if you need any help with Canva or anything else, please just send me a message, and I hope to see you in the hackathon.
Yes, thank you so much, Ronny, for making the time to attend this meeting. Certainly, the information that you have shared has been really helpful. I'm sure everybody here is amazed with how simple you have made things appear. Thank you so much, Ronny.
Thank you so much, Joseph. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Okay, so our speaker has just left. So thank you so much to everyone that was a part of it. So, Mr. Steven, you can take it up from here.
Myself, there's really nothing much for me to say. Just hoping that we've gotten some value from this presentation from Ronny. You wonder why we try and get speakers from all over the world. We're just trying to get from all over the world, as in mostly people who are from, the countries where they are doing these things better than we are doing, instead of just us circulating the same. Of course, there's nothing wrong with the local speakers, but we just try to promote this knowledge transfer, like from, this person that was speaking to us is somebody who, to some people, especially where he is from there, it's not even easy to just have him come and speak to us the way he did. Just hoping that we have captured one or two tricks. And also want to ask on the people who are planning to participate, those who have expressed interest in participating in the upcoming Innovation Challenge. Are there any challenges that you have been facing in terms of the registration, or if there's anything that you'd like to talk about just in the next 2-3 minutes to see how best we can assist each other, or you can reach out from the group. You can always be able to reach out. As far as my contact is concerned, those who may not be in the group, I'm sending my WhatsApp number on the chat function there, so that at least we can be on the same page, those who want to participate in this Innovation Challenge. So Ronny is going to be one of the mentors during the Innovation Challenge, and many other guys that are coming from India, from the US, and also some more from the Nordic regions. And also we have some local mentors. So the Innovation Challenge, mostly some people are just consumed about, is there going to be some money that is going to be awarded after we finish? The biggest award is to get help in building your company. That is the biggest award that you can get. You can be told there's $2,000, there's $3,000, money which you can actually chew. In the next 1 week, it's gone. But the value that comes from the skills, the information that is shared, these people, they've been doing this game for many years and they're transferring that information to you. That is more than money, in my view. So let us, as startup founders, I know we need money, I need money, everyone needs money. But money should not be the driving force in your participation. When you are participating in programs like this, let it be information first. Get the right information, and the right information will get you the money. When you have the right information, you are equipped with the right information, it will be easy for you to go out there and get all the money that you need. So we are encouraging participation. We're encouraging those who have questions, please reach out. As we prepare for the Innovation Challenge, we should be actually working right now on our ideas. We should be able to work on our platforms. Those teams who have got developers, people that they work with to develop their platforms, their websites, please go ahead and start working on your websites. Those who may need help, maybe to connect with some developers, people who can help them to start working on their platforms. We have done, especially those who have been following the program, you have done customer development, you have done some interviews, you've learned about marketing. Today you've learned about pitching. So it's now time that you take your product out there so that people can start now having that user experience. You communicate even with those people that you interviewed. Now, as a result of the information that I got from you, this is what we have developed. Can you have a feel of it? Is this what you were talking about? So that is what we need to be doing between now and Friday. So the Innovation Challenge is not a place for ideating, where people will go and start developing new ideas there. That is not the platform. The platform for innovation, the Innovation Challenge, you should actually be ready to, it's just an issue of developing the actual platform. So it's better to get started, lay the groundwork, secure your domain names and all, so that you get to start moving. Those who have got developers, people who are able to develop platforms in their team, or who have contacts that they're working with, get started preparing your platform. Because at the end of the innovation challenge is the MVP that is going to matter. You need to have a viable, a minimum viable product. People should be able to visit the site and experiment some of the functions. That is part of the judging criteria. Of course, we are going to have an information session, an introductory webinar where all the 21 countries that are participating in this hackathon, in this innovation challenge, it's happening in different countries. So we're going to have a session, 17:30 hours today. I'm sure you have received the link on how to tune in and possibly type in some more questions. Yeah, so that's about it that I wanted to add. If there are any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out.
We do have a question, Andy. Andy, please go ahead.
Okay, so hi, I wanted to ask, is the innovation challenge tied with the hackathon? Because I ask so because my business idea, for instance, we've done all the groundwork except that we don't have a prototype, and I saw that one of the conditions for the hackathon is that a team must have a prototype. So I wanted to ask, in the event that one does not have a prototype, can one still participate in the innovation challenge?
I would say the innovation challenge, you need, that's what I was just explaining to you right now. You might be having a prototype, and when you say a prototype, maybe it might be a broad term. Maybe you have, you have maybe your business model canvas, you have done all that preparatory work already. If you are participating in this program, I know that we might be having a balance of people who are participating in the Inspire program and all people who are here because they want to participate in the Innovation Challenge. It's not possible for you to participate in the Innovation Challenge without a minimum viable product. So there's need, that's why I'm encouraging that between now and Friday, or let's start working, we need to have our platforms, at least something that gives someone an idea of what it is that you're talking about. Technology, not just something that is written on the paper. So you have to start working on your platform. Your platform may be raw, it's not yet done, it's not yet well done, it's fine. You can enter the Innovation Challenge. The purpose of the mentors and all is to help you now. How can you improve it? How can you make it better? How can you make it, that is the role that they're going to play. But it's not, the Innovation Challenge is not a place where you're going to be learning from scratch what is your problem, the way that you learn. Maybe when we started the Inspire program, you're starting from scratch, the basics. This is not it. It's something that you're already working on the idea. That's why we push forward to have this Inspire program more as a way of preparing people to capture the opportunity that the Innovation Challenge is presenting. And also we have Lusaka Startup Week coming, where the demo day for all the participants of the Inspire program is going to be during the Lusaka Startup Week, actually during the summit. That's when we are going to be have the opportunity to pitch our ideas, before all that will be attending. I don't know if I have answered you, but you can't participate in the Innovation Challenge without a minimum viable product.
Do we have any further questions? Andy, has your question been answered?
Yes, it's been answered. Thank you very much.
All right, cheers. Alrighty, so I'm assuming you don't have any further questions. So this session, the recording will be shared with you all, and further instructions will be given close of business day today. So once again, I say thank you so much for making the time to come through. We'll keep in touch. Enjoy the weekend responsibly. God bless.